Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of my journey to Mythic for season 1, War of the Spark. Today we are going to be starting at Gold Tier 4 with little 2 stars in it, and we're going to be trying to make it to at least Platinum to get those exclusive card back things, but we'll see how far we can get. The deck we are going to be using today, as represented by our Johnny avatar, is going to be this mono white list. I do really enjoy climbing with mono white, especially at the lower levels. It's just tends to play faster games, and it's relatively straightforward in terms of like when you can concede games because you know you're going to lose, that type of thing. And also I just really enjoy the play style of the deck, especially now that it is splashing blue more frequently. This is the deck I'm going to be using. There are a ton of 1-drops, I think 19 1-drops. Then a couple of Daunto Vanguards for the control matchups, a bunch of the powerful 3-drops, some Teferis for anti-control action, some Loxodons, and then of course more counter spells in the sideboard, Demystify for those Wilderness Reclamations, and then just an island in case I bring in a lot of my blue cards. So this is the deck. I did a more in-depth guide on it. The deck was designed by Brad Nelson for his NPL play, but we're going to be diving into a couple of matches and starting this journey to Mythic. I don't think I'll end up... I don't know whether I'll make it to Mythic because the thing with making it to Mythic is you just have to play a lot. I made it to Mythic back in the second preseason, I think. Back with the first season that they had best of 3 standard, because I do prefer best of 3 standard, so I did that. I think in the first season I was in Diamond, and then I was in Mythic the next season, and then I didn't really care as much. This hand is definitely a keep. It's got 1-drop into 2 1-drops, and a Daunto Vanguard is also good, so... definitely a keep, and we're going to be able to turn on these Snubhorn Sentries relatively quickly. Plains was not a good drop. So now all we need to do is really to draw one of our payoffs. We have a ton of payoffs in this deck, and by payoffs I mean cards that cost 3. Okadoke, Thought Erasure. A little bit sad that we lose our Vanguard here, but because it's good in this type of matchup where they have Kaya's Wrath. So we're going to just play all of our spells out and hope for the best. If we could draw a... right now, our best draws are History Benalia, Benelish Marshall, Gideon. Gideon would be great. Venerated Loxodon, and Teferi. And Legion's Landing, I was about to say. Yeah. Legion's Landing is great because we can now flip that, and our opponent can't really do much about it. So how many permanents do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So playing Snubhorn Sentry doesn't accomplish anything. So we'll just pass the turn in case he can Wrath at our board this turn with a Kaya's Wrath. And then we can try to start rebuilding with our first fort. Kaya's Wrath. Ooh, Teferi. Okay, that's actually okay for us. Very okay for us. We're going to keep some information hidden. Our life total is not super relevant. And we'll play this. Now we have the City's Blessing, I think. Oh, no, we don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we have the City's Blessing. Kill Teferi. And now we just... like, if they Kaya's Wrath us now... I don't know. I think it's good to get... Snubhorn into play. I think he would have Kaya's Wrath us that turn if he had Kaya's Wrath. The fact that he didn't mill that card is a bad sign for me, though. Yeah, I feel like they probably drew that for their turn. Yeah, maybe I wasn't supposed to play the Snubhorn. I just like getting the City's Blessing when I can, because the Snubhorn is pretty useless as an 0-3 in this matchup. Dang it. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. And things are not going well in this kingdom here. We are not in the greatest shape. Yeah, and this is the spot where we can almost definitely concede. So he's going to flip this. He's got Teferi going. Yeah, we're just going to concede this game. Okay, on to game 2. We have a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup. We bring in our Island because we're bringing in so many cards. Then we bring in Spell Pierce, Disdainful Stroke, all our Dovin's Vetoes, and our Teferis. We don't bring in Deputy of Detention because it just eats removal spells and dies. And then the cards that we take out, we cut. Well, Lawbreed Enforcer is actually good because they bring in Thief of Sanity, so it's good to have interaction for that. I like to cut Snubhorn Sentries in this matchup because it kind of just forces you to overextend to get the City's Blessing. And then I like to cut some number of Venerated Loxodons for a similar reason. I like to keep as many cheap cards as I can generally because it's good to have ways to to flip Legion's Landing. So we're going to cut the Venerated Loxodons as well, I believe. Conclave Tribunal is good for answering some Teferis if you have to. And this is just generally my preferred sideboard configuration. Pretty straightforward. We cut Loxodon, but we add some Teferi. So we end up with a similar number of expensive cards. And later on, you want to just be holding up your counter magic a lot of the time to counter Kaya's Wrath and things of that nature. Gonna mulligan this. We can't really do anything with 5 land hands. We have to keep this, even though it's not the greatest. Gideon is an okay card, though. We're gonna... Oh, man. I'm not sure if we just have to keep this on top. I think we are going to keep this on top. And then just hope to draw a land on our turn, draw stuff, because we are at a little bit of a disadvantage this game. And Adonto Vanguard is so good in this matchup because it's just hard to kill. I guess post-board they might have Moment of Craving for it, but they have to have a very specific answer. They can't just have an Ultimate Price or a Kaya's Wrath or something like that. And this gives me the highest upside. Okay, of course they have Moment of Craving. Feels bad, man. So Max punished. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta take risks to get the biscuit. That's how the saying goes. No, you risk it to get the biscuit. Oh, man. Rats. Whew. Yeah, this is not going well. Not that it would have gone that much better if I hadn't put it. If I had put it on the bottom, we just wouldn't have had a play, regardless. Read it and weep, opponent. Read it and weep. Once I hit this third land, then you'll be sorry. Then you will be sorry. You won't know what to do. Not taking Gideon, that's interesting. I'm going out on my own terms, buddy. Land me, yes. Gideon it up. Okay. Gideon can take down Teferi. Doesn't do so well if my opponent has another Teferi. No! Wow. Ob Nixilis' Cruelty. Have not seen that one. Oh, this is a catastrophe. My opponent is missing land drops, though. Which means he has all spells. This is not a great spot to be. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's game. We can't even Conclave Tribunal because he'll just bounce our guy. Okay. So, Journey to Mythic starting out backwards, but, you know, that is why you practice. And sometimes you even switch decks partway through. My favorite deck for climbing was Mono Blue because Mono Blue just had so many free wins, and then the games that you did play, there was a lot of decisions, so you could just outplay people. I'll have to see if I can make a version of Mono Blue that's good in the current meta with the new cards. This hand is great. One drop. Banalish Marshal locks on. There's a pretty good curve out. Playing against famed philosopher Sartre. We are going to start off with a... I like to start off with Bodyguard on the play because they usually don't have duress. If they're going to have potential thought erasure, you pretty much always play Legion's Landing. Okay, so he shocked himself. In this spot, I think I am just going to play the Vanguard, though. More mana efficient, and the blue-red deck doesn't necessarily even play thought erasure. It could just be it could be a Grixis deck for sure, but if he's Grixis and takes Legion's Landing here, then I'm in pretty good shape regardless. Whew. So this could get ugly for me. We'll have to see if he can kill Banalish Marshal. He could potentially bring back like 3 Phoenixes here. In the worst case scenario. It's not super likely, but you never know. I'm just kind of assuming this is blue-red Phoenix. Yeah. Wow, whiffed on spells. Doesn't get to bring back the Phoenix. That's huge. Okay, so there's 2 choices here. One, we can play this guy into Venerated Loxodon, or we can play Banalish Marshal and attack. The Banalish Marshal attack gets in for 4, 9, puts him to that. Puts him to from 4, 9. Puts him to 5. That was really a long time to do math. But I feel like next turn, if I do the other way, I'm going to have a 5 power guy, 4 power guy. I think this plays better. Just go big. Because this also gets me like just way more power into play for next turn. So if my opponent has a flurry of removal spells, I'm in better shape as well. And now I can... Boom! Opponent concedes. They cannot handle the mono white. I think this is a good matchup for me. Against Phoenix, what do I want? Deputy Retention's not great, because they'll probably bring in lava coils, and they'll be pretty good at finding their lava coils. Teferi's not great because I guess I can like bounce a Crackling Drake, but that's not very good value for me. They probably have Enigma Drakes. Maybe I want Baffling Ends. I probably want Baffling Ends to kill Electromancers. Oh man, this is tricky. This matchup isn't super common at the moment. I don't think I want Dobin's Vetoes. Don't know if Teferi is any good in this matchup. I think my main deck configuration is probably pretty solid. Maybe cutting Teferi for Baffling End is correct because they'll bring in Enigma Drakes. And Baffling End can also take down Electromancer before they can go off. Because they'll definitely keep in Electromancer. On the draw, we're going to keep this hand. It's very high upside. Let's get down our Dauntless Bodyguard. Hits past an Electromancer, crucially. Oh, they have a... Okay, that's just for probably the second half of Discovery Dispersal. We will attack and then play our cards that allow us to flip Legion's Landing. We'll protect our Bodyguard, because that card can still attack past the Electromancer effectively. And now we can attack with everything. Oh gosh. Yeah, here comes a Phoenix. Okie doke. Okay, so we have to attack with everything and then play probably a Gideon post-combat or Benelish Marshal. Probably Gideon, though. Though Gideon's just going to die, so maybe Benelish Marshal is superior. Or maybe I'm just supposed to... Yeah, I'm just going to double up on play 2 more creatures here, because they get buffed more by the Benelish Marshal. And also Lawren Enforcer can tap down Phoenixes. Also, maybe I'm supposed to play Deputy of Detention just for like that one turn where I just get all his Phoenixes temporarily. And when I say temporarily, I mean very temporarily, because he'll just kill it quickly. He might have a shock. So he's killing his own Electromancer here, but he gets back his Phoenix. The Adanto Vanguard that lived. I can use my Gideon and give it lifelink, so... I think we're going to do this because we don't want him to just play a second Phoenix and kill me, but at the same time, I don't know. I just think this is good because now it threatens lethal if he does attack me with both. No, it doesn't. It's 1 point short. Oh no, I'm so bad at math. Okay, so I'm at 4 here. Yeah, that was bad math. Because this is going to be 5, 9. So we're going to have to give this lifelink. We gain 4. Now we are alive unless he has shock, which I think he would have used at this point. Yes! Oh, yes. We get the W, and we are back where we started. Perfect. That pure value play. Heck yes. Heck yes. I'm just going to check if I have any decks that I'd rather play. I have not had a ton of success with the Bant Aggro deck, so I think we'll stick with the Mono White for now. Mono Red is fun as well, but that'll probably be a different video. And it's also just good to stick with similar decks, because then you can really get good at the one deck, and that's the best way to climb, is by just winning with as much as possible. It's also important to have fun, though. That's why switching decks is important, but like it's good to get like in a groove with the deck. I think we're going to play first. We're going to keep this hand. Okie doke. Mono red potentially. And he does not shock that one. That's good for us. So maybe it's not mono red. I like that they took the time to get a cool mountain art. I like it. I respect it. We really need a land next turn. Oh, come on, land. Yes! used his Lightning Strike on a non-Benelish Marshal. And now he can't Goblin Chain Whirler me. Do you even Chain Whirler, bro? Oh, yes. And we're going to get to flip our Legion's Landing, which is also great in this matchup. We're going to just bounce the Gitu Lava Runner. It's not the greatest, but it means he can't trade with Benelish Marshal, which means we can freely flip our Legion's Landing. And now we have a pretty endless source of value because Legion's Landing is really good against Mono Red. And we have Conclave Tribunal for if he has Experimental Frenzy. We're going to save this for Frenzy. We're going to save this for Frenzy. I'm reminding myself because I sometimes forget that type of thing. Yeah, that doesn't do anything, buddy. Make a 1/1, play this land. It's time for your favorite Elefante. Let's go. Los Elefante is in the house. And our Snubhorn is now a 5/5, so that's good. Boom! We get the victory against Mono Red. Always a pleasant victory to get. Okay, so against Mono Red. Man, we don't really want Deputy of Detention because he can just kill it pretty easily. Though, it means he's wasting burn spells on non-me targets. I think we cut to Fairy because it's really hard to protect him. And as you saw, we like bounced a 1-drop that game. We want Baffling End, I think, to kill Runaway Steamkin. We want Demystify for his Experimental Frenzy because I'm just going to assume that he runs that. I don't think we want these blue cards though. Counter spells are just generally not as good. Deputy of Detention could be fine, but I don't think it's necessary really. Planeswalkers are just hard to protect, though. Him giving lifelink can be nice. Oh, we'll just cut the Adonto Vanguards. Those are horrible in this matchup. I think I like this sideboarding. You can tell that the deck was designed by Brad Nelson because the sideboarding is incredibly intuitive, and you always end up with the perfect number of cards left in your deck. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably not sideboarding exactly the way he does, but that's what it feels like sometimes. I'm just like, wow, this feels perfect because I'm taking out all my bad cards and getting in all my good cards. So let's get this victory and keep the climb going. The climb continues. Okey-doke, Zookadam. Zookadam. He's taking a while with sideboarding, but you never know. Yeah, that was a tricky matchup because Chain Whirler kind of wrecks me, but now that I have less 1-toughness 1-drops, it wrecks me a little less, I think. Not 100% sure on that, but I wonder how good the Ajani's Pride-Made version of Mono White will be in this type of meta. We're going to mulligan this hand. So this hand looks okay, but 4 lands is just too many lands. Our cards are just going to die, and yeah, we need better stuff. This hand is also bad. We're going to mull to 5. And yeah, that was... I guess we'll keep this. It's kind of a catastrophe, but, you know, we could technically... Okay, now we can no longer technically flip this on turn 3. Let's just get that snubby out. Snubhorn Sentry. Maybe we can surprise attack him with Legion's Landing. You won't see it coming. I think the 1/1 lifelinker is more valuable, which is why I sent out the 2/1 to die. Also, I don't want him to know about Legion's Landing. We protect the 1/1 because this is best against Chain Whirler. Oh, just have nothing in your hand, opponent. In your 4-card mono red hand. Nothing that can kill a creature. That would be really weird if he didn't have a kill spell. I mean, he didn't have a 1-drop last turn. We're going to sacrifice this because that means that he can no longer attack with his Steamkin this turn, so it saves us more damage in the long run. Or he can give us a life point. Yes! Chandra. Oh my goodness. Oh, never mind. He can use his mana from this. No! We were so close to flipping Legion's Landing. Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sad. Oh my gosh. If he hadn't hit the shock, oh, we were fine. He just needed to hit a land off that. We would flip our thing. Yeah, we lose. Okay, game 3. That was a mull to 4, to be fair. You don't win many of those. Feel like LSV right now. Deputy Detention might be okay, actually. It can take care of like Steamkins and Chandras and yeah, we'll just keep it out. Even though it is a nice answer to Chandra, I think it's worse than Gideon because Gideon can give our guys lifelink. Because Gideon is inspiring like that. Come on, let's go. Good opening hand. Boom, this is what I'm talking about. Yes! To be fair, we do need a little bit of help from this hand in the form of a 3rd land to play this History Benalion curve, but if we hit History Benalion curve, it's very hard to lose. We'll trade. Boom. Him not trading there probably means that he has a Chain Whirler. But a lot of my creatures are resilient to Chain Whirler. I just need to hit a 3rd land here, right on curve. Come on, land. I believe in you. You know what else would be really good here is a Venerated Loxodon. So I have 18 lands left, 4 Venerated Loxodons. So that's 22 good draws out of 52. And then Legion's Landing would also be good. That's 26. So about half my draws are really good. And the other half are very medium. I also still have a decent turn even if I draw another 1-drop. But as is the way, we will proceed to draw our best one. Now my lands are actually good draws too because land would let me turn on my Snubhorn Sentry. So now I have a lot of good draws. No blocks. So now I just need pretty much anything for my deck will be good. Oh, he can only play one of those next turn. Oh, that was a great draw. That was probably my best draw. So if he doesn't have land, he can't play Chandra. But if he does play Chandra, I can kill Chandra next turn. That was actually not a great light up the stage hit. Definitely not blocking. That's a really bad trade because my guys are going to be 5/5s next turn. Wow, he whiffed on land. Now he might not be able to play either of them. Okay, so he hit a land finally. But now he can't play Chain Whirler, so he doesn't have a good blocker. Or, in theory, good blocker. I was kind of hoping he'd play Chain Whirler, because there's not actually a good blocker here against my Benalish Marshal. But in theory, Chain Whirler would have been a good blocker. Wow. Okay. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now my sentry's online. Okay. So he can Chain Whirler plus shock my Benalish Marshal. Wow. That is bizarre. That is really weird. He knows he loses this Chain Whirler now, right? That was really a weird play to make. Okay. Moment of truth. Chain Whirler would keep him alive. No, he wouldn't, because I could tap it. Never mind. Yep. Advancing through the ranks of gold tier 4 here. Let's see if we can end this video into gold tier 3. Gonna get that potentially final match. It's always good to make progress. Come on, good matchup. There's not very many horrific matchups. You usually have a chance in every matchup with mono white. That's one of the things I like about it. This is a great hand, even on the draw. Okay. We're going to get the... So this land means either Esper midrange or Esper control. In the control matchup, I've got a lot of the good cards that I want. I think this card's the worst one. Let's just get our Dauntless Bodyguard down here. Depending on if he plays Thought Erasure next turn. Because we just want to hit him as hard as possible. Yep, always has turn 2 Thought Erasure. Esper is a hard matchup, I will say. I think this is probably a bad matchup. So maybe not going to advance after all. Wow, taking that is interesting. Okay. Okay, so I don't think with this hand we can beat Kaya's Wrath. I think Kaya's Wrath is just something that we're just going to have to assume he doesn't have it. And if he does have it, then we just lose. Him getting rid of History Benalia might just mean that he doesn't have it as well. So I think in this position, yeah, this does not look like a Kaya's Wrath to me. So here we are just going to Legion's Landing and Venerated Lockstone. This protects us a little bit from a potential Cry of the Carnarium, because that would no longer kill Law Rune Enforcer. And now if we can ever flip this Legion's Landing, we're in great shape here. We also just have a massive attack next turn. Okay. So we can either play Benalish Marshal. So there's 2, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Plus 4 if it's Benalish Marshal. But I think we're just going to play the Odonto Vanguard, because Odonto Vanguard is better against a sweeper. So if he does have play Kaya's Wrath. So we hit him for 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. He goes to 9. And then we add this to the board. Yeah, and then if he doesn't play a sweeper, we win anyway by playing this. If he does play a sweeper, we... The fact that he used Mortify means he is relatively likely to have a sweeper here. The fact that he used Mortify on my Legion's Landing. And he concedes. We managed to get game 1 against Esper, which is pretty huge here. Because we have a decent sideboard plan against Esper. So, against Esper, we want to bring in our counter spell package. So, Spell Pierce, Disdainful Stroke, all our Dovin's Vetoes, and our Teferi Time Raveler. And because we're bringing in all these cards, we'll bring in our Island. We don't really want Demystify. It does hit Search for Azcanta, but that's only in a very limited window that it does hit Search for Azcanta. Against Esper, the bad cards, I think, are Snubhorn Sentries, because they are not really functional early on in the game, and because with Snubhorn Sentry, they're killing all your creatures, it just doesn't do what you want. And then I tend to cut Venerated Loxodon as well, because they can keep the board pretty clear, and then Venerated Loxodon is just impossible to cast in certain hands, and because we are adding these Teferis and these relatively expensive cards. I think Lawbreed Enforcer is an important card to keep in because of Thief of Sanity, and we do want to keep in some number 1 drop so we can potentially flip a Legion's Landing early in the game. This has been the way I've sideboarded against Esper. I think Benelish Marshal might be a card that I'm supposed to cut some number of, but I just can't do that I feel like that's just so hard to justify because it's just like the best card in your deck. Or one of the best cards. We are definitely mulligan this. 5 lands is just too many lands for this deck, and this hand is much better. Don't really want Lawbreed Enforcer. That was not a great draw, I will say. So we can cast our Teferi with this hand. Drawing 2 lands off the top probably just means this game is a loss. But you can't just assume you're going to draw 2 lands. This deck just doesn't do well when it draws lands. Yeah, we'll have to let that happen. This was a horrible draw. Sure, we kind of have to just let that resolve. And yeah, the fact that we drew a lot of lands here was really bad for us. The fact that we kept 3 spells, 3 lands, and then drew... Yeah, we have to counter this and just hope he doesn't have anything, because I don't see us winning this game if we just let that die, because then we only have 1 power coming through, and he just has unlimited time. Sure. Get tapped, Lyra. Oh my gosh. Really? No! If we win this game, it's just a miracle. Dang, if only we had drawn a counterspell or something. Yes! Baited and outsmarted, opponent. Get wrecked, noob. Wow. This is actually hilarious that we're kind of in this game. Ooh, the Adanto Vanguard is in the house. There's no reason to hold the island. We'll just play it now that he knows about it. Okay. Opponent might just flood out here and lose. 4, 8, 11. This is lethal. No! Ah! Curse you, opponent. You and your stupid wrath. Wow, this is a... We've had a horrible draw in this game, and we're still technically in it. Because our opponent's draw has also been pretty bad, to be fair, but... Oh, man. And we'll concede. 10 life is an insurmountable obstacle. We drew 8 lands. That was a lot of lands, especially compared to the number of spells we drew. Yeah, we'll run it back like this. I think this is a fine configuration, and we just have to draw a little bit better. Oh, he has Lyra too. That's annoying. He had to have 2 Wraths that game. I mean, the fact that he kind of needed both Kaya's Wraths to win, that is really sad considering how bad our draw was. We'll keep this hand though. They don't usually play Duress, so we're going to just try and get maximum damage in. This is a lot of pressure on the opponent. They probably will have a kill spell on turn 2, but if they don't, we just get Legion's Landing flipped and win. Now Thought Erasure, it doesn't look as appealing either. We do just want to keep adding creatures to the board, force them to kill those. Though Teferi is going to be a nice little play next turn. Boom! Our opponent concedes. Let's go! I did not think we could make it into gold 3 with this in this matchup, but we managed to pull it off. Whew! Let's go! Ranking up. That is going to do it for the first episode of my Journey to Mythic in War of the Spark Season 1. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section down below to let me know you made it all the way to the end, typing hashtag gold3 in the comments to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate all of your support. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll talk to you guys in my next installment.